What is happening, y'all? We are back at it again with another video. Today we're gonna be reacting to. Hold on, give me one momento. We're gonna be reacting to Stop Caring
We
to
will get
What
you a million
People
views or you don't
Think
pay.
of
And if
You.
you give me 15 seconds, I'll
See,
explain exactly
we'll
how
see
this
how
works.
deep
First,
this
we build a
goes, and we'll
tailored
see how long
system
I
around.
last. Hopefully, it lasts me a good hour, but we shall see. Cause I still gotta make like 30 other videos today, so yeah. Not sure why it's being slow, y'all.
Before you win, everyone will ask why you're working so hard, and after you win, everyone will remind you how lucky you got.
Woo! Well spoken, Mr. Williamson. Holy shit. I need to replay that and put on CCs.
Everyone will ask why you're working so hard, and
Okay, before you win, everybody will ask, why are you working so hard? Why are you trying to succeed? Why are you trying to do the things that you love? Why are you trying to do the things that you enjoy? Because it gives us fulfillment, it gives us life, it gives us purpose, it gives us identity. And through this identity, through this hard work, nobody will ever understand why you work so hard because they don't see the end goal. They don't see the dream, they don't see the passion, they don't see whatever because they're so blindsided by their own life where they can't even live their own. Which is why everybody will be asking, why are you working so hard? Is because you need to know what you need to be done, and what needs to be done is needing to be doing it now. So, let me play my music, and we'll continue this video. Hold up, I gotta sing the lyrics because the lyrics are too good. And I was gonna make sure I'm singing the right lyrics. You broke that bond when I'm coming and my feelings weak. Not chemistry. Why you play on the hardest son of kissing Lee? I put my life on the line, you take the rest from me. Fuck off my trust and I'll delete all our memories. Alright, let's continue because we are getting deep. We are getting into the bottom layer of what I think people should really never care about, which you should only care about your own life, your own happenstance, your own being, because without it all, you may never know where this life will lead us to, which is the best part about life. It's the unknown, it's the void, it's the waiting to be doing the things even when you don't want to do the things. Comprende? Comprende.
after you win, everyone will remind you how lucky.
After you win, everybody will remind you how lucky you got, how lucky you've been. And nobody sees the dream, no one sees the goals, no one sees the commitment that you've made to this so-called dream, goal, perspective, identity thing. And through this, you may never know where this life will lead us to. You may never know where this understanding will bring us to. You may never know where this thought process will lead us to. And through this, we must know that we are doing it for ourselves. We're not doing it for anybody else besides ourselves because we are pushing our limits. We are pushing our time. We are pushing our effectiveness because we know how to be effective. We know how to be done. We know how to get the things done within the right amount of processes, which is why everybody will remind you how lucky you got because of how much you win. And after you win, everybody will keep on reminding, oh, remember that one time when you made so and so money? nobody will see the progress. Everybody will see the training ground, but not the trophies. Everybody will see the trophies, but not the side. I flipped it around. So it's supposed to be you're not supposed to see the training ground. You're supposed to see the trophies, and that is what everybody sees. They sees the trophies. They don't see how much hardship, how much strength, how much pain you went through to get to this point, to get to this reflection, to get to this understanding, to get to this belief. Because we know that we must win at the end of the day, even if we are still trying and crying and depressed, and even though we are trying to gain the wisdom of our loved ones, even when we are not willing to die and lose ourselves. Within all of this struggle, within all of the pain, within all of the agony, we know what we must do is at the end of our line, at the end of our life. So I wish upon nobody to kill themselves. A moment of pain is worth a lifetime of glory. Okay? Remember that. 2, don't be depressed, don't be sad, don't be angry because you are responding out of emotion. And within emotion, you're responding out of raw yourself. So don't get the rawness, get the truth, and then move on. Okay? So let's continue. I'm already liking this. It's only been 5 seconds, y'all, and we are getting deep. We're already getting deep, which is what I love about myself because I can't shut myself up. So, yeah. Over the brink. I'm so lost, I'm so lost. I can't take this. Hurts too much from. I don't know why. Something ain't right. If I never wake up, then maybe I'll be alright. I wanna cry. Trying to fight. I'm gonna visit her in my own skin. I'm gonna try to fight it, but I never win. I can't see straight in my brains.
You got. Holy fuck.
They got me laughing, they got themselves laughing. Fuck me. Fuck me, bro. Like, what the fuck, bro? I wasn't ready to. I wasn't ready for that, is what I'm saying. So, let's see what he has to say to that. It's just too funny.
You know what's funny? It's okay. So I didn't know that's where the quote was going to go. I thought it was going to go, before you win, everyone asks you why you're working so hard. After you win, everyone asks you why you're working so hard.
Like I said, they'll see the trophies, but not the training ground. I'll say that over and over again because that's a Hormozi quote. It's a Hormoziism. You call them Hormoziisms because it's Alex Hormozi. You cannot take the quote away from the quoter because you'll fuck up. So, everybody asks, why are you working so hard in the early days? And at the end of the day, why are you working so hard? Because you only see the progress. You see the dreams, you see the goals, you see the reality. But at the end of the line, at the end of the field, at the end of the reality, that is where we become strong. That is where we not break down, not fall, not trust ourselves, and not let ourselves be broken. Because at the end of the day, we all have shit that we have to deal with. Ain't that right? Because at the end of the day, as a Marine says, hoorah, we are Quran eaters. I know that because my cousin's a Marine. Which, if he's listening to this, hopefully he's enjoying this video. And hopefully his colonel is enjoying this video. Never met the colonel, but seems like a laid back dude. But yes, everybody will ask you why you working so hard in the beginning and at the end, because they see the trophies but not the training ground. They see the work, but they don't see the reward. For me, the reward is making money on this, doing my dream, doing my goals, doing everything because I know that I can make it. I know that I'm strong enough because I know I will not stop. And through not stopping, that means to not quit, not give up, not do the things that you're afraid of. Because if you do the things that you're afraid, you jump into the pool of the sharks. Because when the sharks want to eat, they fucking munch. And when they munch, they eat. So, I'll be right back. Alrighty, y'all. I am back. Oh, I just took a shit. My asshole is hurting. My asshole is hurting. Which is just fabulous. Because who wants their asshole to be hurting? That's just not fun. Shit's no bueno. No absolute bueno. So, people ask why you work so hard in the beginning and at the end because they don't see the work. They don't see the countless hours, the countless late nights, the countless things that you have been putting in front of yourself because you know what to do and you know what to say. And through this, you know what to believe because you've been believing that the whole entire time that you've been alive. However long, however short, whatever it is you want to say it, you've been alive. So, nobody sees the training ground, they only see the trophies. And that's a Hormozy quote right there. So,
That's, I mean, both of those work.
Right.
Yeah, and it's true, but I think in both of those situations, both of those things are true. In both of them, before you win, everyone will ask you why you're working so hard. There's no proof that this is going in the.
ooh, why are you working so hard? Because there's no proof that it's going in the right direction, in the right frequency, or in the right way, or in the right thing that you're doing. Because at the end of the day, we work so hard because we know how hard we need the money. We know how hard we need the struggle. We know how hard we need the delayed gratification at the end of the day. And through this, we know with what we are because what we are is what we do, and with what we do is what we are. And through this, we know with how we do it, and we know with how we say it, because even though when we are afraid, that is when you jump. That is when you go. That is when you dive. That is when you try. Dive. That is when you try, because if you do not try, then you may never know where this life will lead us to. The loneliest road, or the loneliest chapter, is the weight of another within a life ever after. And through this next life, you may never know what your past life will be like, which is why you need to try, not like any other guy. Like I said, I got some poems. And when I lock in, you know me, I lock in. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Proud of myself. But there's why you working so hard, because there's no proof that it's going to go in the right direction, go in the same direction, go into the better direction, because you have the proof, you have the evidence there, you have the audience screaming at you, saying what you need to do, which is why you should never quit. And when never quitting, that is how you become that better version. That is how you become that better understanding, that better perseverance.
Right direction.
Yeah.
You don't have any evidence that you're actually even good at this thing.
You don't have any evidence that you are actually good at this thing. For me, that's recording, that's liking to make reaction videos. And whatever this so-called thing is, if it's editing, if it's video recording, if it's school, if it's whatever it is, you're good at that one thing. So don't allow other people to push away their side effects or their struggles just because of one thing. Just because of one stupid thing. And we all know with what we must do is what we must say, and how we must say it is how we must obtain it. And through this obtaining of knowledge, and through this belief of whatever it is we're doing, we know with what we can do, because what we do is what we fathom, and what we fathom is how we are. And how we are is what we do, if what we do is what we say. So don't allow other people to say the one thing because you're good at that other thing. Make sense? And through this good thing, through this evidence, through this understanding, through this perspective, it all comes into a POV, which is getting better. And if we do not get better, we may never jump from bounce to bounce or block to block. And through this, we may never know where this life will lead us to, which is the best part of the unknown.
Likelihood of a positive outcome is incredibly low. And after you win,
The likelihood of a positive outcome is very low. That's why I keep on trying to post as much as I possibly can, so I can get my stream and get my YouTube to where I see fit. I know I can make it. I just need to continue on persevering, continue on making the content, continue on doing the things, even when I'm afraid to go into the deep water and swim with the sharks. Because like I say, when the sharks swim, they swim. And when they eat, they eat. Take everything from the outside and throw it all away. The last time I will trust myself with you.
have you not yet reached escape velocity where you don't need to do this anymore?
Ooh, that was a bad voice crack, but we don't talk about that. We do not talk about that. Have you not yet reached escape velocity where you don't need to do this anymore? Whatever this so-called thing is, sports, video games, content, whatever it is, you need to continually on doing the thing so you can become the best at your craft. Because if you don't become the best at your craft, then you lose the opportunity to be a part of the wolf in the wolf's den. Because without being a wolf and a strong leader, then nobody will trust you, nobody will understand you, nobody will do the things that you want to do. Which at the end of the day, nobody understands this anymore. And through this, we must know with what we are, because of what we are is wasted time, then why are we wasting it on doing this pointless thing?
Why are you capitalizing on an opportunity? Why are you capitalizing on conquest instead of continuing to just start from opportunity at the bottom?
To continually start from opportunity at the bottom, because without the bottom, you are nothing without pointless action and pointless steps waiting to be repetitive and over and over and over again until it forcefully becomes habit. And when this habit makes its form, that's when you jump. That is when you go. That is when you continue. Because if you do not go, if you keep on waiting, lollygagging, stopping, that is when you run. And when you run, you have to fully on sprint.
Like, because you've now reached the fucking top of the mountain.
Yeah. When is enough enough?
When is enough enough? Well said, Hamosi. Well said. When is enough enough? For me, that's posting 15 to 30 videos a day, which I have yet to make that dream an actual reality, which is why I'm not going to stop until I hit 1,000,000. Then after that, I'll do 10 times per day. Because if all I have is wasted time, I've wasted my teenagers. I'm not going to waste my 20s. I'm going to continually on doing the things that I want to do, because even if I'm afraid to jump, that is when you go. So I will be right back. That's all the dopamine I get for the next 3 months. What is the top never enough? When is this ever enough? When is my life? When is my construct? When is my story ever enough? We may be asking this question multiple upon multiple times because we don't know what is enough. We don't know what we're trying to do. We don't know who we are because we are afraid to jump when the rule says us to jump. And whatever we are doing, harmful, moral, whatever it is that we are doing it for ourselves. We're doing it for each other. We're doing it for the happiness that we are waiting to get. And through this, we may never know where this life will lead us to, which is the best part about life, in my personal opinion. It's the unknown. It's the void. It's waiting to say things now versus get things later. So when is enough ever enough? Just ask yourself that.
Or, dude, I mean, just so prescient to start a business at that time. Like you really timed the market. Or I've been learning about, it's not venting, but it's I can't remember what it's called. It's this particular type of put down that chicks give other chicks. And I don't think that guys have, I frankly don't think that guys have like the lexical capacity to do this socially. But it's something like, imagine that a bunch of girls are at a wedding together and there's one girl that doesn't like another one. And she'll say something like, I really admire your confidence. Like, I would never wear a dress like that. And it's just like, it looks, you just, with your body type, like it's really impressive that you decided to wear that today. Like, that's just, you've done really well. Or, you're prepared to like just eat. Like, I can't just like keep eating, but it seems like you just don't really mind. And it's this sort of odd venting come put down, like, are you trying to, no, like, I'm saying that the dress looks, it's this sort of culpable deniability of an insult. And, I get the sense that the retrospective look conversation thing is a little bit like that. It's a backhanded insult, not a backhanded compliment.
Build apps that scale. Meet Base 44.
There's a meme from Family Guy that does this exact thing. It's two girls eating lunch together, just trading insults like this. And then it just pans to two guys eating lunch after like a 60-second exchange of just insults. And he says, "Hey, John, I like your tie." He says, "Oh, thanks." And it says, "Men, we know how to be friends."
That's just funny. That's just comical. That shit got me laughing there. Men, we all know how to be friends. Oh, that's good. That's good.
That's sick.
So, I was just thinking about that while you were saying it. But it's so interesting. Like I have that statement that I said at the beginning, which is, you live your life in a way that I would not prefer.
You live your life in a way that I could not prefer, that I would rather choose to live a different story, choose to live a different path, because we all have different paths. Nobody is the same. Everybody's different. Everybody's flowing. Everybody's doing things differently because they know that they have to do it, because if not, then they will live the life of the exception, which means I would not like to prefer how you live your own life.
And all of these things boil down to that. And I've had this as my internal translation mechanism, because before you win, they're saying you live your life in a way that I would not prefer.
Before you win, they say that you live your life in a way that I would not prefer. And through this, making sure that we don't prefer how we live our own lives because we are afraid, we are scared, we are afraid of the void that is waiting to be tapped into. And through this, we know the void, we know the understanding, we know the beliefs, we know the happenstance that needs to happen now, because if not, we will not be living the life that we want to live.
And then after you win, in Mark's example, you have won in a way that I did not prefer.
You have won in a way that I would not prefer. So you have lived a life that you don't want to prefer, and you have won in a life that I would not prefer. Whatever winning is in your opinion, stocks, real estate, school, in a way, everything comes back as a positive and not as a negative. Which means you have won in a life that I would not like to prefer. Comprehend, Hermosi? If he's listening, who knows?
And then if you continue to work, you continue to live your life in a way
And if you continue to work, you continue to live your life in a
that I
way
would not prefer.
that I would not like to prefer. So you have one in life that you not prefer, the other one, and now this one. You work in a way that I would not like to prefer, which continues the work that you need to do because nobody is the same as you.
And so at the end of the way, they just cast their preferences onto you, and then somehow they expect you to give a shit. And I think this is where I've lost friends. And that's okay. And
That's okay because they're not living the life that you want to live. They don't have the dreams, they don't have the reality, they don't have the vision of you living the life that you want to live. Which is why I will never stop posting content because I love posting content. I'm not comfortable in front of a camera, is what I'm saying.
you're entitled to think that you should care, and you're entitled to not care.
The problem here, especially again for me and for the people who are the criticism hyper responders that are listening, if you over-index, or even if you just index on other people's input, you think, maybe for a while you didn't have as many people contributing to your life as you might have wanted. And now, as a pauper, how can I reject this penny someone's flicked me? What you don't realize is that this penny could have arsenic on the other side of it. Or it might be a fake penny, or it might be a joke, or it might blow up in your hand or something. You go, well, maybe this person's comment is like useful. Maybe I should take heed of this. Maybe it's something that I should listen to. And the ability to be discerning when you're not used to receiving feedback is a difficult skill. And again, I can just middle finger my way through life, not listening to anybody's opinion, is an interesting one, but practically it's very difficult. And it's a skill that you need to learn.
And you do need to learn, you do need to listen to feedback. Like if you had never changed how you did your podcast from day one until now, your podcast would not be what it is, right? If I had made sales presentations, if I had written emails, if I had made products that didn't respond to feedback, then we would not be where we're at right now.
Agreed, because if you don't respond under feedback and just keep on doing the same thing, you will not get big, you will not get mainstream, you will not get the top product.
It's a really interesting question of like, how do you discern which feedback is good and which feedback isn't?
Yep.
And I'm trying to think about what my perspective is on that. I think it comes down to, number one, aligned incentives. Like, does this person benefit from me doing better?
Mm-hmm.
Number two is competence. Do they actually have sufficient domain expertise where their feedback would be relevant? Now, I'll be clear here. If you have a yogurt company and you want somebody to try your yogurt and your friends say, I don't think the yogurt tastes good, well, they probably have a lot of yogurt and they've eaten stuff before. And so like they could very well have domain expertise. If you have a business that's a yogurt business and then your mother gives her opinion about how the business works and she's never run a business, that's different, right? And so the second would be domain expertise or competence. The first is aligned incentives. And then
define expertise or competence. First is align incentives, because if you don't align your incentives to what you see fit to competing with the competence of whatever it is you're trying to do, you become very incompatible and very less expertise because they're not knowing how to run the business like you have.
what do you think? I think that those are like, I'm trying to think if there's
I honestly
anything
think
else.
those two are because you can start adding shit on, but it just makes it harder.
Yeah.
And the first one ensures that the person is pointing in the same direction as you.
Yeah.
The second one ensures that they actually know how to fucking row a boat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. I like that. Success really just boils down to this. You got to want it more than you hate what it takes to get it.
You want it more than you hate than what it takes to get it. Whatever it is, content, school, whatever it is, the business needs to get done, because if the business does not get done, then you may never know where this life will lead. You have to want it more than you hate it, because what it takes to get it is a lot more difficult than what you admire or what you see.
If you're willing to suck at anything for 100 days in a row, you can beat most people.
If you're willing to suck at something for 100 days in a row, you can beat most people, because most people don't even try. Most people don't even accomplish their dreams because they're so afraid of what other people think. They're so hyper responder. They're so, I need to know what other people think now, because if not, then they have no purpose and they have no life.
At most things.
Okay. I'm so excited you said this. So
I tried everything, coffee, Pomodoro, and binaural beats, but nothing stuck until I tried this.
we talked a little bit about how, well, I'll rewind the clock. So there's this quote that I read from Kobe where he said he thought that it was going to be super competitive in the NBA. But when he got into the NBA, he realized that people, well, they figured out that they had made it and weren't willing to sacrifice as much as he was to continue to win. And I would say that that realization has been somewhat true for me, which is that like winning, it's like it hasn't gotten harder from the actual doing stuff side.
It hasn't gotten harder by the actual doing stuff side, because if you don't do stuff, in the business, the actual doing stuff will die. It will bleed. It will let it burn in ash. So don't allow it to get harder, because once it gets harder, it'll get easier and easier once you learn.
There has been the trades that have been different than I expected. But especially when you're looking at the population of everyone to 100 days of doing something in a row, there was a friend of mine who he offered a guarantee on a product that he sold. And the guarantee was this. He said, all you have to do, you can get all your money back if you just open up a Google Doc and say what you're going to do every day. And at the end of the day, you're going to say what you did. That's it. And you just do that for 6 weeks. That's all you have to do. And if you do that and you don't get the results, I'll give you your money back. And what's crazy about that is when he was talking about it, he said, do you know what the completion rate of twice a day doing something is? He's like, it's like less than 1%. He's like, so I can happily do it because it seems so simple. And so I think
And when it seems so simple, that is when you do. That is when you put all your energy into this one thing, because you will be forgotten in 3 generations. So create the story, make the difference, make the understanding, because if you do not, I will not be seeing you on the other side then.
we underplay how simple success is and extrapolate an expectation of how easy it must be from that. And then we're disappointed or dissatisfied.
I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, stay you and stay unique. Peace.